Bienvenidos a una edición más de Tu Voz, Tu Voto. En el día de hoy tenemos la grata presencia de contar con el candidato republicano a la oficina del sheriff del condado, Mike Gauger, que nos acompañará para contestar algunas de las preguntas referentes a nuestra comunidad hispana. Welcome, Mr. Gauger.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. I remember years and years ago when you were on the sheriff department and you were very, very instrumental in creating programs closing the gap between the Hispanic community and the sheriff's department that existed at that time. I don't know if some of the programs are still in place, but when you get elected, what programs do you think you will be bringing to even get it closer and help Hispanics, especially in the Lake Worth area?
Well, I started and brought community policing to the sheriff's office in the late 80s and early 90s. And we went into all the most struggling neighborhoods that had been forgotten by the county. And where a lot of people with, having poverty problems were living. And, we saw crime and all kinds of issues. So we went into those neighborhoods and we dealt with the crime first. And then we started working with the families and finding ways to improve the quality of life for everybody. And we built a partnership with the county. And the county started to come in and started to do things that made that neighborhood better. Things like sidewalks and street lights and improving the neighborhood. We improved it as well with code enforcement. We cleaned up the neighborhoods where there was trash and litter and junk cars. And then whatever neighborhood it is, I assigned officers who fit into that neighborhood. So if there were minority neighborhoods, we found minority officers in my community policing unit that could communicate extremely well with the residents. And then the county helped us even bring in programs that changed the lives and provided assistance and resources. One of the things we did was built the first neighborhood park.
And yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and that was in Lake Worth West, and Lake Worth West is still operating today. I stopped in to see the ladies last month, and it was like just a great reunion. I hadn't seen them in a while, and they said, "Thank you so much for what you did there." Well, that's what I want to do throughout this county. Wherever we have neighborhoods like that, I will make sure that we have community policing. We have officers that represent the residents of that community. And for the criminals, when we build trust with the residents, they share with us who the criminals are, that we can isolate them. There was also some cultural differences. Some folks who came from the Central America area, how they can, the things that they did back there, early marriages and 14, 15 years of age, and developing a relationship from a male that's in his 20s to a young girl that age was a little accepted there, but here it got him in trouble. So we started holding classes and teaching the residents, look, guys, you can't, here in America, it's not accepted. So we tried to build on the cultural differences and help people so they didn't get in trouble.
I know it was your programs were very successful years ago, especially in the Lake Worth area. But now, the sheriff department is also taking care of the Green Acres area, where is a lot of Hispanics. What kind of programs do you think it might be helpful that when you get elected, you will implement in that area that might be helpful to the community?
I will do the same in Green Acres that I did in Lake Worth West and also in Westgate. One of the things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes. I remember Westgate. Yeah.
And one of the things that we discovered is that the men who are from another country, it's like when soldiers from America go to other countries, and they're not working, they're drinking and looking for companionship. Well, we had some of those problems. And so we started a soccer league.
Oh yeah,
And that was wonderful. It kept
yeah,
busy. Instead of sitting around drinking and getting in fights and with each other because of the alcohol, they were busy playing soccer. And then when they finished that, they would go home to bed because they had to work the next day. So
yeah.
those are just one of the little things that we did to make a difference.
Yeah, you did a lot for the community in those days. In fact, you were the pioneer in created those kind of programs uh to get to gain the confidence, to earn the confidence of the Hispanic with the authorities. Most of them were victims of crime and they were afraid to go to the authority. And you became with the programs and getting close to the community. You became to get them close. This now we are seeing that that fear doesn't exist anymore. They can go to the authorities thanks to the programs that you implemented. I remember because I was on that meetings when you were holding those meetings.
Yeah.
That was many years ago.
Yeah.
um Anyway, we do have a growing Hispanic community. Do we have enough sheriff that speak Spanish or that know the culture of the Hispanic, or are you going to have some kind of programs to increase the Hispanic agents in the force?
Absolutely. And I have folks in mind who will help me do that. I have those of Hispanic descent who are supervisors and moving up the ranks, and they will help me. And then we can get out into the community and go to the high schools and start working. We bring in programs where we get those Hispanic students interested in law enforcement, like the junior deputy program and the cadet program. So I worked very hard to hire Hispanics when I was there, and I hired a lot of them and worked very closely with them. Like Fernando Alvarez was one of my main guys, and so we want to do that again and be part of and represent the communities that we serve.
Also, now we have with the new technology that we are all in it. Uh, Recently, it was announced that the artificial intelligence is coming to the sheriff department at a cost of $1.3 million. How do you think it will be beneficial to the sheriff department to work with that new technology?
Well, I listened to the sheriff's radio or television interview on that, and I'm a little concerned about AI. When the deputy is not writing his own report, writing your own reports and putting those things together helps your memory. But when you get into court and the defense attorney asks you who wrote that report, are you going to say AI or are you going to say I wrote that report? So those cameras that we wear, the Axon cameras that fit on your body, they don't see everything that we see. They're limited in their vision. So I'm a little nervous. That's a lot of money to spend.
I know.
So it's new technology, and I think that it'll advance probably in the future. But the lawyers that I work for are concerned about AI. And I know they put out a bulletin last week that said, you don't necessarily trust AI and putting your paperwork together. So,
I know it's a little bit scary about this new stuff, but it is what it is. Anyway, based on your experience, what challenge do you think you will get? I mean, it will you will be experiencing with the Hispanic community in the future, in the near future, because the community is growing and is posing a challenge to deal with that community.
I think there's a lot of controversy over the immigration issues today. And we'll have to be on the cutting edge with that. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about what's going to happen in the future. And, you know, as your sheriff, it's my duty to protect all residents like I have in the past. I'm going to represent the Constitution of the United States, the state of Florida. I'm going to do what's right. You know, some opponents are saying that, we're not going to cooperate. You know, laws have to be changed. If we're going to do the right thing by all people, is what we're going to do here. So.
Okay, one last thought that you would like to share with all the voters, not only Hispanic, but all Palm Beach voters in the upcoming primary election on August 20th.
Well, thank you. Well, I would say that when you get a chance and an opportunity to look at my website, Gauger1 Sheriff, that's FOR, sheriff.com, you will see that I have served this community, this Palm Beach County, for over 5 decades. Not only as a sheriff employee that has started at the bottom and moved all the way up to the top, I also served in the community. I served on many organizations that helped the community. Families First, the Urban League. I was chairman at JFK Hospital. I serve in Rotary and so many organizations. I could spend 10 minutes trying to list them, but you can see them on my website. And so many of them have appreciated the work that I've done. Like I think the Puerto Rican Hispanic organization made me the Policeman of the Year one year. So those are things. Urban League gave me an award for the work that I did in communities. If you look at my history and you compare my opponents to what they have done and their commitment to community, I don't think they'll reach my level. So I'm here. I serve all communities. I was out there. I don't sit in my office. I attend community meetings and led community meetings and listen. And that's one of my things that I do the best, listening to what the issues are in the many different communities and then working with them to try to solve any problems that they have. Community policing is something that I taught for the Department of Justice out of Washington, D.C. And the 2 key components of community policing are making partnerships and then working with them to solve problems together. It's not just the residents that you build partnerships with, surrounding businesses, with the county government. And we accomplish so much by working together and building those relationships that those communities just shine. The boxing programs that I put together, there's a young man, Hispanic from Belgrade, who is an attorney today for a large internet company in New York City. He called out to us and said, look, if it was not for that boxing program, I would be in a gang today. They kept me in school. They got my grades up. They got me into college and then law school. He said, how do I thank you enough for the programs that you created?
Well, thank you so much for having you today, and wish you good luck on the upcoming election. Now, remember, August 20 are the primary election to elect one of the candidates to represent the Republican Party for the sheriff's office in the upcoming, the final election, which is going to be in November.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to share my platform and my
Thank you so much. It has been a real pleasure having you today. Bueno, pues ha sido una edición más de Tu Voz, Tu Voto de atlántica.com. Les habló Mirta Luaces.